So here is my history folder. We have 203 gigabytes. So let's go in and I'll show you what I've got. It's pretty groovy. So I have Africa. I have, here's Egypt. So it's basically like the history of Egypt. So I got this audio book, that audio book, these different audiobooks, and then these different like epochs of Egypt. And this is if it says documentary, then that's like, documentary 42 minutes long. So I've got the inventions that come from Egypt with the year in the front, followed by what it is, all the different kingdoms so far. Well, not all of them, but different kings. These are well, it says here if it's that's a documentary. That's a Wikipedia, and that's a documentary. Now when I have a folder, that means you have both a Wikipedia article and then of course the book, which is really good. Jacob Abbott. I listened to this whole one. It's freaking really good. Jacob Abbott is really good. Anything Jacob Abbott is good. So the philosophy that come out of them, or philosophers that come out of Egypt. Anything religious related, like the legends of the gods. This is like a Wikipedia article. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Yeah, and then I've got Ethiopia. These are the invention, coffee, Aksumite Empire, Ethiopian. I think it's like the language. Here's a book, first book of something. Eve by Platt. Here's another book about adventuring in the center. Mali, history from Mali, Mali Empire, Sunga Empire, Morocco, religion and a couple of dynasties. Religion of just general Africa. What? I didn't organize this? I could have sworn I organized this. This needs to go into Ethiopia. Man, you work so hard and then you realize that you're not even done. Welcome to my life. Here we are. Duh. Okay, whatever. And then we got South Africa with the South African inventions. There's a book, Religions of South Africa, or books about religion. Religious books written by South Africans, which we only have one, called Andrew Murray, and he's written 4 of them. And then different like Wikipedia articles, and then of course this is a documentary, which I never got around to writing. Cecil Rhodes, that's the guy. I was trying to remember his name the other day. Here's another book written by Winston Churchill, actually, when he was 26 years old. Historical book. Tunisia, Carthage. So you got Hannibal by Jacob Abbott, and then The Engineering and Empire from the History Channel, which is a documentary. I just never got around to writing documentary, I guess. But yeah, and then all these different wars, empires, and when the country doesn't have its own country, I just leave it out. There's not more than one thing about a country, I don't make a folder for it. But anyway, that's Africa. Then I got America. Got all of Canada. These are all just different books about Canada. All the religions that come out of Canada, or inventions that come out of Canada. And then some more books, historical books. And then of course the one religion book about Canada. Not so much about Canada, but here's different stuff about Central America, like empires and Mexico. Just different history stuff written by Mexico. These are just books. And then Kingdoms of Mexico, all these different guys. as well as the documentaries. So you definitely want to see if it's a. Forgot to write documentary, but I'll do that later. Thought I finished that. Everything about Mayans. Got the Mayan calendar. So like different Carl Kalman talking about it, explanation. I think that's a documentary. Forgot to write it. There's the Popol Vuh, their Bible. So South America, I've got like Brazil, and inventions from their religious books or religions that come from Brazil. And then, well, there's a book, a big book, written by Theodore Roosevelt from the time he did his trip up the river. Chile. Well, here's just one dude, Khan, talking about Chile, about Pinochet and Allende. And there's just a Wikipedia article about Colombia, but I guess I put it there. We have all the Incan creation stories, and then the language, and here's a documentary about the Lost Pyramids, which is a long documentary. It's like, well, I guess it's 29 minutes. And then here's a Making of the Nations, just a history book about South America. And yeah, you can peruse through here. History of North America, history of Americas. So then here's America. I have a lot about United States. So yeah, you got like the musics from America, all the art. Here's a brief history of art. Black related stuff. Here's are just different books written by different people. So you see who wrote it. By Heckley. Written by him, so I didn't say it was by him because it's by him. So, and I should have put the dates of the authors, and maybe I'll do that later. But you'll if you read it, you'll know. These are documents having to do, so all the amendments, historical stuff. Got the actual Constitution, Declaration of Independence. This is a real big book, you know. And I've got stuff having to do with the growth westward. So these are different books. And if you want to know who it's written by, it just says it right here. I should have said by Jacob Abbott, who's a really good writer. So, yeah. And then just general history of America, just written by different people. I should have put the author on that. I don't know why I didn't. Marl L. Pratt. Oh, whoops. I guess that's the same book. I'll have to take one away. But you got all of these. Stuff having to do with the Depression. Like here's an actual promo that they were doing. Here's a nice documentary that they made about the Depression. It's like an hour long. And here's an hour and a half long documentary, or I guess Wikipedia article about it, with Kate, who's a really good voice. And Hero Tales of Heroes from America. Actually, that should be, yeah, that's in history. And so all this stuff, and then post-World War stuff, I have that into its own little section. 9/11 report, Prohibition. Here's a book about it. Here's a documentary about it. That's really good. History Channel or something. Short history. There's a book. Book. Khan, that dude Khan. He was featured in TED with Bill Gates. Yep. And then stuff having to do with Indians, like these different books. Yeah, like Custer actually wrote that, you know. And then I got institutions, so all the government departments, all the different stuff having to do with Department of Housing, all the different bureaus in the Department of Interior and the Department of Labor, Department of Transportation, Department of Treasury, Department of Energy, Department of Veterans Affairs, you know. And then we got like a book about the national parks by Robert Sterling Yard. I should have written his name on there. Got Wikipedia articles of all of the states in America. And then, I guess that should be in an apartment, huh? And then Khan talking about that for, I don't know, 14 minutes. National Organic Program. And there must be a reason why I left that out. I shouldn't tamper around too much until I look at it. Got all the inventions that come from America, which, as you can see, is a lot of inventions with the date first. So if you listen to it, you can just go one after the other and kind of move forward in time as you listen to all the inventions. But if I have more than one, then I put it into its own folder. There was a book about the airplane. Oh, that's why. There we go. See the folder. So you have the Wikipedia article and then a book about it. And Nikola Tesla with the date there of when he lived, so you know when he lived. So there's the Wikipedia. Here's like a documentary that I got on YouTube that's an hour and 44 minutes long, and then another documentary made by like the History Channel. I should have said who it was made by. That's 45 minutes long. And then Thomas Edison, a book about him, and then the different inventions that he made. And then these are just inventions of unknown origin, but I decided to put them into America because I figured biggest chance that they came from America since everybody invented America. Yeah. Lots of inventions from America. And then just different books written by Americans. I didn't put that in like history because this is just like famous men of like the whole world, and then like health books written by Americans. And here's another book. So philosophy, these are just books written by like American philosophers. Now if it just has the guy's name and not the name of the book, it's because we have more than one book in there. So he did 2 books, and yeah, this guy did 4 books. And let's see here, presidents. I have the Wikipedia articles of all the presidents that we've ever had, and we've got like lots of books about Abraham Lincoln. What the hell? That's Theodore Roosevelt. That's not right. Theodore Roosevelt doesn't go there. This is how I organize. Let me just do this really quick. I thought I was so finished, and then it turns out that I wasn't finished. He goes into there. There we go. So Andrew Jackson. Here's a really good documentary about him. It's like really long too. It's like an hour and a half long that I got on Wikipedia, and then the I think that's the Wikipedia article about him. I think. Just forgot to write Wikipedia. Teddy Roosevelt. So I've got, well, there's that book he wrote, but I have that in South America because it's about Brazil. So here's his autobiography though, and then a documentary about him that's 3.5 hours long, and then his Wikipedia article. So, and I got everything like religion related. So these are all just books written by religion writers. Here's a woman who wrote 3 books. And this dude wrote 3 books. And this chick wrote 2 books. Story of Mormon. There's a book about Mormonism and then a Wikipedia article about it. And then these are different like religious books written by Americans, and then all the different religions that come from America. Yeah, a lot of religious stuff. And then here's the different wars. So like here's all these different books about the Civil War here with the Wikipedia article, and then like a 46-minute documentary about Sherman's March. Book about the well, here's the Mexican-American War with 2 articles. There's there's like a documentary that's an hour long, and then the Wikipedia article. Stuff about the Revolutionary War, military journals of privates. There's a book, another book, and then the Wikipedia article. Spanish-American War. Here's a book about notes from like a war correspondent, and then the Wikipedia article. And then Cold War, Wikipedia. These are just War of 1812 documentary that's an hour and a half long. So there's USA. Got a whole lot of USA. So there's just the Americans, and then we have Central Asia. So like Armenia. There's a book about it. And then some Wikipedia articles about it. There's a book about traveling through Asia. That's really long. And then Turkmenistan. There's just some like dynasty that was from Turkmenistan, so I put it there. History of Eurasia Shamanism. East Asia. So here's my China collection. Here's a book. Another book. These are the different dynasties. Wikipedia articles. Here's a book. Another book. Now I forgot to put the date here, but these are like people who lived a long time ago. I'll put the dates of them. Maybe I should have done that before. But here's like Engineering an Empire about China. A big documentary. An hour-long documentary about China. 46-minute documentary. Oh, there's documentary. Oh yeah. Here's a lecture by like a high school teacher. It was really good though. I should have put the dates he was talking about. Maybe I'll do that later when I listen to it. But oh, you have the dates though too of the period there. And then inventions from China with their date there. And then here's a can't remember if that's a Wikipedia article or a documentary. I'm gonna have to look at that. Religions and philosophies. So stuff having to do, well, here's a book about Buddhists from Louis Hodis. Stuff having to do with Confucianism. So here's a book called Confucius Sayings. That's just a collection of all Confucius sayings. Wikipedia articles, and then here's a 45-minute documentary about him, which I forgot to label documentary, but I remember watching it. So Sun Tzu, the guy who invented Taoism. So here's Lost History documentary about Sun Tzu and the Art of War, and it's 2 hours 15 minutes long. It's a doozy. Oh wait, no, 2.6. Huh. I have like a 3-hour documentary about him. I don't know where it is. Maybe I'll have to get it again. Oh wait, no, I mean about, yeah, not the guy who invented Taoism. That's the Art of War. But I have a really long documentary about it, but it's not here. Huh. Yeah, it's like 3 hours long. Ah, where'd it go? That pisses me off. Anyways, Taoism. So Lao Tzu, he actually wrote that book, Lao Tzu book, Tao Te King by Lao Tzu, Tao Te King by Lao Tzu. Maybe that's the second one, I don't know. And he's related to anarchism, I guess, according to Wikipedia, so that's why I put that there. So, Cao Dai, Chinese folk religion, East Asian philosophy. I guess that's Wikipedia. Yeah. Man, I'm bummed about that Sun Tzu. Bummer, 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 bummer. That was really long. Oh well. Stuff gets lost. That's why I'm organizing. Okay, and then of course the wars. Just different wars. This is a lecture by that Chinese teacher. And Wikipedia articles that you can see. So then we have Japan, Book of Tea by Kazugo. This guy lived a long time ago. I should have put the date of him. Another book. Here's inventions from Japan. There's their Bible, their creation story. Religions having to do with Japan. Seinuchi, Shinto, and Tenrikyo. The atomic bomb in Hiroshima by U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Okay, here's History of the Ninja documentary. Here's a 2 hour 48-minute documentary about like the entire history of Japan. And here's a Japan lecture or literature. Oh, a documentary about the samurai and the ninja. Korea. These are just all these different Korean dynasties and stuff, and then their religion, Juche. Mongolia. Barbarians. This is like History Channel. Barbarians, the Mongols. Genghis Khan. That's another documentary about him, which I think is pretty big. 50 minutes long. And Mongol Empire. And there's some more up there on YouTube that I just didn't get. I guess I saved and it never got in. But here's Buddhist stuff. So we got the Buddhist Bible that I got off some site. These are just talks by Chogyam Trungpa, who was the guy who brought Buddhism to America. And that's like a whole lot of time. How much time is it? Let's see here. I'm curious. That's about well, I guess I don't know how to see how much time it is, but whatever. Hours and hours. And then Chronicles. I can't remember where I got that. Dalai Lama. 4.5 gigabytes of the Dalai Lama. Books written by the Dalai Lama. Or like speeches given by the Dalai Lama. Yeah. So he's got a lot. Some other Rinpoche talking. Here's the Dhammapada, written by somebody, the book. Different other Rinpoches and stuff. So I've got a lot of Tibet. 8.84 gigabytes of that. Okay, so that's East Asia. And Europe. Austria. All the inventions from Austria. Philosophers from Austria, like Sigmund Freud. I got 2 of his books. And then the Tractatus by Wittgenstein, philosophy book. And then Wikipedia, Austria-Hungary. And then Austrian-Hungarian Empire, and then Mozart. And then Belgium, saxophone invention. And then different Wikipedia articles about that. Bulgaria, just Wikipedia articles. Czech Republic, inventions, and then their empire that they had. Denmark, got the inventions. And readings from Kierkegaard. It's one of his books, and he's from there. Dannevirke, Wikipedia article. Their big wall. England. So I got all the documents from England. So I have all the commentaries on the laws of England by Blackstone. I have a book about House of Commons by Eliot, and then all the House of Commons speeches. And then I guess the book of the Lord's speeches. And then I have a book, Trial by Jury, about the Magna Carta. And then that's like I guess the book Magna Carta, the Wikipedia article or something. Anyways, here's a book about English costume, and then history-related stuff about England. Here's a Berkeley course, the entire course about England. The history of England, I think, from like 1648 to 1945 or something like that. I forgot to put the name of the teacher, but it's a Yale course. And here's a book, another book, um, different books, and here's another Yale course, but it's not the entire course. I still have a couple of more to get. But here's your like lectures 6 through 9, so there's 3 hours worth. I should have broken them up, but I didn't for some reason. But yeah, by the time within a week or so, I'll have all of the lectures on that course, and that guy's a good teacher. Here's a documentary about the Saxons. I need to write documentary on there. But yeah, got a lot about history. The Industrial Revolution came from England, so I just put that in here. So here's a book, Story of Inventors. Here's this high school teacher called AP Euro ND, and he's really good. He does a lecture about new technology. And here's a Britain Blood and Steel documentary, which is 45 minutes long. Industrial Revolution documentary that's an hour and 5 minutes long. And then another documentary, Industrial Revolution documentary that's an hour and 16 minutes long. Actually, that's the Wikipedia, hour and 5 minutes, and the documentary, hour 16 minutes. And then another Second Industrial Revolution by Wikipedia. Then all the inventions from England, which is a lot of inventions. Stuff about the umbrellas. There's umbrellas in their story or whatever by some dude. And then they were invented in 1852 in England. And then we have all the different kingdoms and empires, so the Anglo, British, and Gaelic. Different kings. So I've got all these kings here. These are all documentaries about these guys that I got off of Anime Girl UK channel. And I guess they put on from actual TV made documentaries about all these different kings. And then I got different books about Alfred the Great, and the Wikipedia article, and Charles I by Jacob Abbott, the book, and then the documentary about him. And then Charles II Wikipedia article, and then the documentary about him. Henry V, Henry V by Shakespeare, and then the documentary about him. Henry VIII, Henry VIII by Shakespeare, by Wikipedia, and then the documentary about him. Bad King John, the documentary, and then another documentary, just made by two different people, two different TV shows, networks. Here's a book about all the lives of the kings. And then Jacob Abbott did one, Margaret of Anjou. I think she was the wife of Henry II, one of the stupid kings. Mary, Queen of Scots by somebody, by Jacob Abbott. Oliver Cromwell. So yeah, here's a documentary about him, and then Wikipedia article about him. Oh, I didn't go in here. So here's the book about her, and then the Wikipedia article about her. Forgot to bust this open. Oh, whoops, yeah, there's the book written about her. Queen Elizabeth, we have the Wikipedia article about her, the documentary about her, and then a book about her by Jacob Abbott. Ooh, I'm looking forward to reading that. I like Jacob Abbott, he's good. Queen Victoria. So here's a book about her, documentary about her, and then a Wikipedia article about her. Richard I by Jacob Abbott, the documentary, and then another documentary called Richard and Saladin, his wars with Saladin and the Crusades. And then Richard II by Shakespeare. And then Richard III, so we have the book about him by Jacob Abbott, and then the documentary, and then the Wikipedia article. And then a book written by Royal Children from Nesbitt. And then William I, William the Conqueror by Jacob Abbott. and then all the other kings. So I've got lots of stuff about the kings. And then literature, just books written by English people. As you can see, I've got 2 different books by Oscar Wilde. And then these different ones. And then different Wikipedia articles about literature in England. And then I have a book about Mutiny on the Bounty, and then another book about Mutiny on the Bounty, or about to retrieve Mutiny on the Bounty, and then the Wikipedia article. Philosophy-related stuff, so here's different books. I have 2 books by Bertrand Russell. And then here's the course, the university course on Charles Darwin. I only have the first 3, but I'm going to collect the rest of them pretty soon. And then I have a documentary about him. I should have written, like, who makes him. Maybe I'll do that later when I listen to it. Here's another book. Isaac Newton. He invented calculus. I have the Wikipedia article there. Great scientist. Documentary about him, 23 minutes long. Wikipedia article. Here's a just something, I guess, philosophy of physics, because he kind of integrated them. And then that, and then here's Isaac Newton, the Dark Heretic. It's an hour-long documentary. It's really good. Shows that he was like an alchemist, a New Ager. And then here's just two books written by John Locke. And then just a Wikipedia article, 17th Century Philosophy, Age of Enlightenment. Here's that high school teacher, AP Euro ND, talking about intellectual development in that period of time, so I just put it in John Locke. Empiricism, Philosophy of Economics, and Political Philosophy, because he was a really important philosopher. Then I have 4 books by John Stuart Mill, and then just things having to do with what he talked about. And here's this another, like, I guess, university professor who's talking about him. This guy's got like hours and hours and hours and hours of stuff. He goes on forever. Yeah, look, an hour and a half just on Stuart Mill. He's got like 50 hours on like Nietzsche. I'm not even gonna download everything he has. Way too much. Anyways, Wikipedia article. He has a YouTube channel. And let's see, Life of the Spirit of Today by Underhill. A book. Here's a book. Different books. Yep. So, and then religious stuff, just religious books written by English people, as you can see. And this guy wrote 2 books. This guy wrote 3 books. That guy wrote 4 books. That guy wrote 3 books. That dude wrote 2 books. Oh, and there's actually a Yale course about this guy, so I'll put the Yale course in there. The entire course is about that guy. And then these are different books. Here's a book he wrote, and then a couple of Wikipedia articles about him. And then some more books. And then their religion, Anglicanism. So, and then Scotland. I kind of have Scotland as a separate one, just because it's kind of in England, but it's different. So, got a book by David Hume, Inventions from Scotland. Another book by a Scottish dude. Different religious books written by Scottish people. And then a short history of Scotland by some dude. And then another book written by a Scottish guy. And then, oh, and here's like a university lecture, 23-minute long lecture just about Scotland from Yale. That Wrightson guy, I should put that in his main lecture section. But here's a book about what Peterloo, 30 Years' War book, and then World War II Yale lecture, which comes from one of those courses. So that's England for you. Now, as far as France, I have a book about the French Revolution by a contemporary, and then the Wikipedia article, and then Kahn's talk about it, and then two UCLA lectures about it, hour-long lectures that I took these out of their entire lecture, but I'll have also the entire lecture stored in another place if you want to watch the whole lecture. And then another Yale course where he talks about the French Revolution. So two different Yale professors talking about the French Revolution. And then like Manners and Customs of French, Popular History of France. Now this is huge. This is like the Mahabharata. It's like the Bible. It's 2.56 gigabytes. Covers everything. And here's a book about history of France. Barbarians, the Franks, television documentary. Wikipedia article. And then, yeah. So then inventions from France. So here's a book about the social history of smoking by that dude who lived in those years. And then the Wikipedia article, invented in 1830 in France. And then these are just different inventions from France. And then we got a book about Joan of Arc from Mark Twain. And then the Wikipedia article about her. And then we got the Wikipedia article of King Louis the 18th. Huh. Or maybe that's, I wonder why I don't have the 16th. Anyways, a book about Charlemagne, another book about Charlemagne, Wikipedia article about him. I got that high school teacher talking about absolutism, which comes from him. And then a documentary, Wikipedia article about him. And there's some other lectures about him too, which I'll put in. For some reason they're not there. And then we got Engineering an Empire documentary about Napoleon, and then that Khan dude talking about all of his wars. And then Wikipedia, and then the Empire about Wikipedia. So, and then we got philosophy. So these are different books, philosophical books. And I got 2 books from Rousseau. And then that book. 2 books from Descartes. That book. And then a book by Voltaire, and then the Wikipedia article about him. And then religious stuff from France. These are just different religious books written by French dudes. And then it's a religion, and then that guy. So that's France for now. I got Germany. Here's a book about, written by a German, or talking about a German rat catcher, like in the Industrial Revolution. German inventions. And we got stuff about the Nazis. Wikipedia article about the German Empire, and then Holocaust, Nazis. And I've got other lectures about the Nazis, which I'll put in there. They're not in there yet, but they'll be in soon. These are different philosophical books written by Germans. I got 3 books written by Marx, and then and then Marxism, stuff inspired by him. And then another book and another book. So, and then just Prussia. Here's a book about a Prussian officer. And then that high school teacher talking about absolutism in Prussia. And then religion, just different religious books written by German dudes. So there's 3 books written by Luther. And then that high school teacher talking about Reformation, and then a couple of Wikipedia articles about him. And then a couple more books written by Germans. And then another book written by a German, Selected Letters of Beethoven. And then here's the 30 Years Wars of Religion, which I think had to do with Germany, so I put it in there. And then the Wikipedia article of the Holy Roman Empire. So that's what I have with German for now. So Greece, we've got the art, just different art that Greece has invented. Maybe I could have put that in inventions, but these are different kingdoms. So I have like Alexander the Great, a book about Alexander the Great from Jacob Abbott. Now there's lots of documentaries about Alexander the Great that I have in a playlist right now that I'm going to download really soon. So we're going to put a lot more about Alexander the Great really soon. But I think that's a documentary about ancient Crete that I just forgot to. And then Athens, Dawn of Democracy from this English girl. That's 2 hours long. And Wikipedia article. Engineering an Empire documentary. Age of Alexander, and then Engineering and Empire, Greek Byzantium. So these are about 45 minutes long. These ones, these Engineering and Empires, I guess, without advertisements. So I guess on TV they're hour long. Then a Wikipedia article. So, and then just various history stuff about Greece. So here's different books about Greece. And then actual Herodotus. I got 2 books written by Herodotus, who lived in that year. And then all the different myths and legends from Greece. And then different book by Plutarch, Paran, I guess. Anyways, and here's an entire course about Greece that has like 25 different lectures, and I only have these ones for some reason right now. I lost them, so I'm gonna fill that up pretty soon. And then different Wikipedia articles about it, and then just Wikipedia articles about Greek inventions. And then I have the Aeneid, and then Aesop's Fables, and then different inventions, and documentaries. There's a documentary about, actually that's not a documentary, that's like some dude who made a video about it and just talking about random ancient athletes, which is pretty interesting. So, and then we got philosophy. So we got these are the ancient philosophers books. This is the guy who lived like 430 BC. So these are all the different ancient Greek philosophers, scientists, a book about all these dudes. And then here's the work of Aristotle. I've got 10 books, 15 books. How many? 12 books by that dude. And then all these different things that he talked about, different philosophies that he talked about. I've got 2 books by Epictetus, who lived during the AD time. And then a book about Greeks, another book, and then I got a whole bunch of books written by Plato, and then Wikipedia articles about the stuff he talked about, and then a couple of a documentary about Socrates, and then the Wikipedia article about him, and then a book about Stoicism, which is a Greek philosophy, and then different Wikipedia articles about this stuff. And then here's a philosophy documentary that's 3.5 hours long. It's big. It covers all the philosophers in Greece, and then all the ones in modern times too, all in sequence. So, and then other Wikipedia articles about this kind of stuff. And then I got wars. Now I'm going to add a lot to this. This is going to get way bigger really soon, because I found some cool channels that have this stuff. But here's different books written by dudes, and then different Wikipedia articles, as well as I think that's a documentary actually. Yeah, but this is going to get really big really soon. I don't have any of the wars yet. For some reason I never collected the wars, and there's a whole bunch of wars and battles, like hundreds of them on YouTube, or more than 100 that I'm going to put on really soon, within a couple of weeks. So then here's just general history of Europe. So here's a book about Europe. Here's a Berkeley course about the entire Berkeley course about the history and practice of human rights by Thomas LaCour. He's a really good professor. Talked about all of the different stages of European growth. And then here's just different books about the Middle Ages, like a life in a medieval city. They describe everything about what it's like to be in the medieval city. And here's another one, a life in the city of York in the 14th century, or the 1400s, describing everything about what it's like there. And here's that high school dude, AP Euro ND, talking about the Middle Ages, Wikipedia article about it. And then a documentary, a TV documentary about the Dark Ages. It's an 1.5 hours long. And then the History Channel documentary, that's an 1.5 hours long. Those might be the same. I'm gonna have to check them, but maybe not. Maybe they're not. And then some dude, the medieval lectures, that one, just that dude talking about the medieval. And then medieval literature by Wikipedia. Yeah, various Wikipedia articles about it. And then music from the Dark Ages, all the different kinds of music that they had back then. I guess Renaissance, I guess I should put that in Italy. I'm not done organizing this, as you can see. But here's a UCLA course about European history from 1750 to the present by some lady, some old lady, and she's really good. For some reason, I don't have all the lectures. Maybe I do. Yeah, I don't have all of them. I have all of them except number 10. And one of them, they screwed up with the sound, but she's really good. I recommend this one. And then this one's actually really good too. It's by some really hot lady. I can't remember her name. I should have put her name on here. I will. But I have the entire course on here. She kind of falls apart during the later years. She's kind of a skeptic and not into New Age stuff. But in the early history of it, she's really good. Here's another Yale course, which I will put the rest of it on. For some reason, I don't have all of it yet. Actually, I think I have more of those on my other computer. I have to put it on. And then another course about European civilization from 1640 to 1945 with this guy's really good. An English guy. This guy's English. And then another, yeah, one by that guy. Oh wait, that's the same one as this one. That needs to go in there. Now it's complete. Okay, Yale course on the introduction of political philosophy with this dude. And then that high school teacher talking about the late 19th century. And then History of Europe documentary. And so let's see, now Hungary. So we got Attila the Hun by Wikipedia, and then Barbarians, the documentary about the Huns. And then Hungary Wikipedia. And then Ireland, we got a book written by Ireland and about Ireland, works by St. Patrick. All the different wars. Here's a book about the insurrection of Dublin, book of invasions. This is their Bible, the Bible of the Irish. So this is ancient book, Irish Civil War, and then the earliest battle in Ireland. So and then the harp was invented in Ireland, Ireland Wikipedia, and then Irish literature. So okay, and now for Italy. You know what? We're at 47 minutes. I'm going to stop this and we're going to start up again soon. So just a second.